Hey guys, and welcome back to another Cultured Boys discussion. I'm Pepe, and I'm joined by Nathan. And today we are back on our well, maybe not swear straight into the episode, but that's what we're doing. Welcome to a Cultured Boys Just Chatting.
Do
Yay!
you remember? Do you remember when you had a go at me for doing that a few months back?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now you've just done it. I think even quicker than I did.
Oh yeah, this is easily within the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, at least I took like 20 seconds. Jeez.
Literally back on our. Oh, that's the
You've
second time.
My God. We started the year strong.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So this
My
is.
God.
Oh man. How are you, Nathan? You good?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Apparently, you know what? I don't know why I asked. Apparently, you're great because you're just full of beans today, ain't you?
Apparently, yeah. That's it. I've had two like reasonably good sized glasses of water. I was feeling rough as shit yesterday, though. I'll tell you that.
It's okay. It's past the
was-
minute by
was-
this
was-
point.
Yeah.
You're the worst
Excuse me,
right
but
now.
I am literally the worst. Like honestly, like I was like supposed to be doing a whole bunch of like cleaning stuff yesterday
Hmm.
around the flat, and literally, I think it got to a point where I was watching a bunch of anime, and then I was like, oh, you know, what, I should probably do something, and then it got to the point where I fell asleep for a few hours. And then I woke up and I was like, you know what? I'll watch a bunch more anime, maybe like ease myself in. And I did some cleaning. I did a bit of cleaning.
Oh, okay.
Did
At least
did
you
that,
did
did some of
some.
that. So I did some of it. Yeah. This like it's not as much as I wanted to do. I was like literally. On the Friday. I was like, look, tomorrow I'm gonna like spend a good morning portion of the morning and afternoon cleaning, and then in the afternoon that's when I can kind of watch more anime and do things like the procrastination things. But
Yeah.
procrastination things went on early in the day, and then and then the funny thing is, I got to the cleaning bit and I was like, okay, cool, done like the front room. Moved over to like I'll sort out my bedroom in a second. And then it got to a point where like I started organizing my music on Spotify.
Okay.
Like, because I don't know anyone that knows me knows that like my liked songs on Spotify is just a massive list of just things that I've accumulated over the years.
Yeah.
Just like I like this song, I'll add it to my like songs on Spotify. And there's probably about like 3,300 on there now, I think.
Okay.
Like it's a decent sizable amount. But then I was like, I want to like limit that down to like songs that I actually really, really enjoy. You know, like a highlights kind of thing.
Yeah.
And bit by bit, I went through 3,300 songs and made it like a highlight thing, and I narrowed it down to what I think is probably about 600 now of
Jeez.
like my highlighted songs. Like this is like the top song. I only finished that this morning because about you could say a good 3/4 of the way through getting through those songs, I got a massive headache.
Oh, I wonder why.
Understandably, which is may have been from watching a shit ton of anime all day, having a random mid-afternoon nap, waking up watching more anime, and then just fucking like staring at my phone for scrolling, like focusing so much. Like, oh,
Yeah.
is this song good? Does this song count? Does this song count? Like, because then you have to make those decisions as well. Like, do I want to keep this on? Is this a highlight song? Is this a not highlight song? And then yeah, I took some took some paracetamol, went to bed super early. So my productive Saturday of cleaning wasn't as productive as I thought it would be.
My God. Like you're feels like a whole week. I mean, that's just your Saturday, but I'm gonna extrapolate that to your entire week.
I mean, the other parts of my week are just freaking.
Like
What was my week?
our weeks could not
Just
have been more different.
working and watching The Bear. To be honest, I don't know if you've ever seen it before. The fucking bear is that's a good
I
series.
haven't watched it. I only know it because I've binged it with Babish. He's done
Oh
some
yeah,
recreations
yeah.
of recipes, so I know of the show. But like, yeah, like our weeks could not be more different, dude. Like,
What you been doing your week then?
bro, I've been grinding like crazy, man.
Yeah.
Over the Christmas period, I was like slacking off way too hard. I was like in a weird funk where I was like, oh, I don't want to work. Like,
Yeah.
you get in one of those moods where you're like, there's lots of stuff to do, and you're like, I don't want to do any of it.
Mm.
So I was like, I didn't want to play video games. I didn't want to listen to music. I didn't want to do work. I literally
Wow, okay.
like I didn't actually want to do anything, but you know when you're also like I'm bored, so I should do something and you're like, yeah, but I don't want to do anything.
Well, I mean, that's arguably what the Christmas break is about, though, to be honest. I feel like when you have that week or two, or whatever, how many days off you have, like, you don't really wanna be focusing on any of that stuff, like, any
I mean, like,
like
yes, but I also had a lot of work to do. So this week was me catching up with slacking off for like a week and a half,
mm,
condensed
yeah,
into 6 days.
yeah,
Like I had all of my personal project stuff that I needed to get done, and I had a lot of stuff to get done by Tuesday, so the
mhm.
2nd. So literally
Oh, wow,
New
yeah.
Year's Day, I worked on stuff for like 9 hours straight without a break, without much of a
Freaking hell,
break.
man. Well, yeah,
So I
on
was
a New
like,
Year's Day of all types,
yeah, I
yeah.
was like drawing a bunch of stuff. I was doing a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of stuff for
Yeah,
projects. And then on top of that, I had to then mix in like Cultured Boys stuff. So I was like, you know, watching and reading things for
yeah.
Cultured Boys. I was editing Red Cat Ramen. And like
Yeah, yeah.
my entire week has been a mixture of jumping between different projects to
Mm,
get things done here and there. My week didn't calm down until Friday ish because that was when I was like, okay, most of the deadlines are gone,
yeah.
everything's kind of sorted, and then I was like, cool. And then I just sort of sat there and was like, I'm tired.
So you literally gone from a week of doing absolutely like literally zero, like nothing basically, to
Yeah,
like a very
a
busy
week and a
one.
half
Yeah.
of doing nothing, and then just like full tilt 200% for 4 days.
Yeah.
And when I was just like,
Jesus.
I'm tired. I don't know what to. But then I was like, that's not. I ain't got time to break, man. I got more work to do. Got more work to do.
Get on that grind, I guess.
Oh man,
Oh man.
I should manage my time better.
I mean, that's the one thing in it. Like, it's easy to say, "Oh yeah, you just do this." You just like sometimes like procrastination is just one of those ones where it's just like I don't know. For me, like literally what I was saying just there, procrastination is probably one of the bigger issues for me because like during the Christmas break as well, I had like a few days like where I just didn't do anything, which is like I felt like it was very needed because I went down south again to see like you guys, like family, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
And like for the first few days I was there, luckily like I finished my work on a Friday and then it was like, okay, cool, just chill like for a few days until Christmas, and then after Christmas, that's when like a lot of like the social activity stuff ends up happening
yeah,
again. You know what I mean? Where like the 23rd and 24th, I did next to nothing those 2 days where, like, I was playing video games a little bit, I was watching some TV, catching up on a few things. But then, like, it's the 26th onwards was just like there's stuff to be doing every single day.
wow,
Like, I actually had something planned every day from the 26th. So it's like, it's one of those ones, like, it's good that, like, you're doing things and, like, having that time off work and, like, you keeping active in those sort of ways. But it's also, like, for someone like, I don't know, for me and you, for example, like, social battery is a big thing as well.
oh you,
And I feel
don't
like
get me
you
started.
like, I feel like out of the 2 of us, you probably have a shorter one than I do,
Oh,
like,
for
no
sure. That's
offense taken. Yeah.
for
It's
context.
yeah,
At least, especially to Pepe. That's why when
yeah,
we did our friends like belated Christmas thing, I left early.
yeah,
I didn't realize
yeah,
it at
yeah,
the time, but by the time I was like, right, I'm actually really tired. I'm gonna go home. I got home and I like sat in front of my computer and I was like, just sort of by myself, like in a dark room, and I was like, I'm so tired. And I realized, oh right, yeah, that's because my social battery's gone. Like,
yeah. It's one of those things if, like, we're like, for a bit of context between, like, or like, the Secret Santa thing that we did, like, we started a little bit earlier because there's some people in our group which, like, have, like, I don't know, they have to travel a bit further as
yeah,
well. There's, like, people's lives are very different to what they used to be. So we started a bit earlier, and it did end a bit earlier than what we would usually do with that kind of thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Like people,
No, no, it wasn't. I mean, it didn't start too much earlier than we probably normally would have. We probably normally would have met maybe like an hour later or so anyway. Like
yeah, kinda,
like
yeah,
we met that the day with our friends group like met for our belated Christmas thing, like what, we started at like 2ish?
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
turned up at around 2:30. So like it's not much earlier. We might have actually
yeah.
like depending on it, we might have actually met up then anyway.
Yeah, possibly. It all depends on like what like kind of things end up going on the day. Because sometimes some people end up hanging out before the thing
Yeah,
as
that
well. So
there's that too.
there's a whole bunch of different things that could like go
When
on.
did
Like also depending where you drive.
when did it
Go on.
actually end? Like when did you leave?
Oh god, I think I must have left about. I feel like it was about 9, 10 o'clock. I feel.
Okay.
I don't think I.
That is quite early. Like our friend stuff used to
Mm,
be like, oh, it's rolling on to like midnight or like beyond, and we're like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go home
I,
now.
th- I I think it was around then anyway. Because realistically, when you're starting at 2 and going on to like that is still like about that's 8 hours
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, I left at
Yeah.
like 8:30
Yeah, yeah. We
ish.
did I don't think it was like I think it was like yeah, about 2 hours later, I think it may have finished. Like don't quote me on any of that. I feel like
No, I
at
mean,
that
yeah,
point I'm like, yeah, yeah. But no, there's some people that left a lot earlier. But
yeah,
yeah. No, it's a good time though. I think it's one of those things like I feel with the friendship group that we have. Like a lot of people end up like they're moving on with their lives. And I think that's one of those ones when you just genuinely have a friendship group, like from school anyway.
yeah. I mean, that's
Like I
already
think
quite rare.
you'll always be yeah, I mean, yeah, because we've been friends for God, like well, you've probably known these guys a lot longer than I have
Oh,
because I
I've
joined a bit
known
later, yeah.
yeah, I've known these guys since most of them since year 7.
Yeah.
So, like, what? How old are you in year 7? Like, 11?
Like 10, 11, yeah.
Yeah, so I've known most of these guys for, like, 2 decades now by this
Yeah.
point. Like, I've known them, like, most of my life.
So for me, when I joined 2009, so
Yeah, what? We were, like,
it's been
16, 17.
11. So yeah, it's been about 14, 13 years since I've
Yeah.
known you guys,
So, like,
basically.
I've known like, our friendship group's quite a rare one for a lot of people because it's like
Yeah.
we're most of us are from secondary school, like
It's one of those ones like we were saying that like it's quite rare to have a friendship group like that that kind of stick together for that long. Like it feels a lot of us don't hang out half as much as we used to. However, a lot of people have moved a bit further away.
yeah, I mean, life also yeah, life gets in the way,
Like
innit?
there's a lot of different stuff going on in people's lives as well. It's yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I don't know,
Well, yeah,
I'm
you're
like a prime example. I live like about fucking
you
four
live
hour
across
drive
the
away.
fucking country for
Yeah,
one.
yeah. So I'm like one of those people that like, yeah, okay, yeah, people move on. Yeah, fucking, well, I've not moved on. I've just moved away, and I'm still very much in contact with like majority of
Well, I
us,
mean, like,
really. Like,
that's the thing when you look back on it though, like, when we used to hang out a lot, most of us didn't even though we had work and stuff, we all
mhm.
actually lived pretty close together as well, like, we all live
We did,
with
yeah,
I wanna say roughly 15-minute drive between most of us. Like, we were all super close, and because we all, like, drove, like,
mm.
you could drop a text at any point and be like, "Yo, you wanna hang out?" And, like, someone will probably turn up at somebody else's house within a half hour of receiving that message or
Like
whatever,
that's one
like
thing as well. Like having a friendship group which went on beyond school, as well as a friendship group which actually all lived quite close to each other. It was like, is it? It was one of those ones where like you kind of like, yeah, okay, let's just hang out in the day. Like you wouldn't, but everyone has so many different commitments now than what used to be as well. So
yeah, that's the hard part, innit? Like, I think that's the one thing that is the most different is now that
yeah.
we all got so much stuff going on and we're all so far apart
Mm.
that like the random the random impulsive texts to invite you to just like like sometimes it literally just be like, yo, I don't know what you're doing, but you want to go get lunch? And it's like, yeah, okay, cool. And then like you go from having lunch to like hanging out for half the day, doing absolutely fucking nothing. But it was like off the cuff. Nobody had any
Mm.
plans for whatever reason, or even if they did, they were like, "Hey, I'll push it back until whenever."
Yeah, I think it's harder to organize that kind of thing, one, like, it's just
Well,
like,
again, at least between you and me, I'm not about to just randomly send you a text like, "Yo, you wanna go get some dinner or something?" Like,
yeah. I'll be like, "Yeah, go on then, I'll travel down for
impossible.
4 hours," yeah. Unless it's like, unless you invited me to, like, some fucking sick, like, restaurant which you have, like, exclusivity thing, I think I'll
Yeah,
be
but
like,
I
"Yeah,
mean,
okay."
even if I did that, I'd have to let you know, like, so far in advance. I'm like, "Yo,
Yeah.
you coming down for this, yeah?" Like,
You gotta come down
yeah.
today of all times. I'll be like, "Okay, what's it for?" And be like, "It's this reason."
Yeah, but even
I had
if
to
it
find
was, it'd be really unreasonable to be like, "You need to get here in, like, 6 hours."
Yeah, the chances of me actually turning up are very slim as well
Yeah,
because,
exactly, like
like, unless it's a weekend, and even then, it had to be really freaking good for me if I had to drive down on the morning on a Saturday, drive down 4 hours, do the thing in the evening, and then travel back the
Yeah.
next day. It
Like,
had to be a
I would like to
really
think
good, thing.
you're more reasonable than that to than to just jump in
Yeah.
a car and be like, "Yeah, okay, I'll see you in a bit."
Like, if I like, sometimes I do come down for, like, a short weekend, and it probably will more likely be I'll, like, travel down on a Friday and then go back on the Sunday or something. It's those, like, kind of short, like, quick kind of things. Um, like, that would be, like, for example, if someone's birthday, if they let me know, like, about a month in advance, I'd be like, "Yeah, I'll make the time to do that."
Yeah.
Like, it's all about the thing is as well, like, I will obviously make the effort to go to, like, people's, like, birthdays or anything like that, or if they have, like, a thing, like, I just have to know there's, like, a lot of conditions to me that had to be ticked off, like, for example, I have to know well in advance so I can actually travel down.
See, it's funny because like, I feel like we're at least our group is a bit like that now with all the commitments that our group has. It's like, "Yeah, okay, well, if you're having a birthday, can you we'll try our hardest to be
Yeah.
there, but it's like, can you at least let me know, like, at least a month in advance? Because I gotta move a bunch of stuff or I might got
I think
like."
yeah, so, like, that's one thing as well because, like, a lot of people, like, they have partners and obviously living, like, if they have, like, a house or whatever, like, there's obviously not just one person's plans to get involved, it's also the other person's as well. So, like, it'd be like, "Oh, wait, hold on, my partner might be doing something on this day," or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's like trying to make the simple organization thing, which would have been like, "Oh, yeah, here's a text, you wanna go out for lunch? Yeah, sure." Might not It's not as easy as it used to be with that, I can understand that.
Plus now we all have, like, way more work commitments.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing. Back then when we was all like, teenagers and whatever, we're like, "Oh, maybe we got part-time jobs or something." But, like,
Yeah, it's
our
true,
work responsibilities weren't as big, so it was, like, way easier to just be like, "Yeah, let's go hang out at someone's house." But, like, now it's like, no way, dude."
my one work responsibility back then was like I just couldn't do anything. I could rarely do anything on the Friday night because like my shifts were always. I think like they were like it was Friday, Sunday, and it was another day as well, or it might have been 2 days. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was a fair few, but they'd always be late ones.
Yeah.
So I'd always work like the closing shift in the supermarket. So, like, if anyone did hang out or wanna hang out, I'd have to be like, "Yeah, I can do, but I just can't do Friday." Or, like, I'd turn up and be like, "Yeah, order me the curry for this time," and then I might,
Yeah, see, that's also, like, the problem I had with some of my jobs that I've had over the years is, like, if I had a job, then it was always, like, late shifts. Because that's,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
works better for me, but then that also meant, like, you guys would send me texts, I'm like, "I'll see you at the next big event because
Yeah.
I'm working that night."
Yeah. What time did your shift usually finish when you, like, worked in the place you did?
I mean, at the last place, normally I would work a 4-hour shift, like 4 to 8,
Yeah, 40. Okay, fair,
but
yeah.
then, like, as time went on, it sort of evolved and I ended up doing more double shifts more often than not, so it'd be like I'd work from,
Yeah.
like, 12 till 8,
It'd be a longer day, yeah.
and then, like, as I took on more jobs in my last place, it was like, "Oh, okay, even if I did a 4 till 8, I'd be like, nah, dude, I'm too tired." Because it's like,
Mm.
I'd be doing, like, lots of physical labor, and I'd be, like, basically running half the place by myself, even though I wasn't management, like so by the time you guys would be like, "You wanna come and eat? You wanna come have a takeaway dinner?" I'm like, "No, I'm going home, I wanna go to bed."
Yeah, it's one of those ones where, like, when you're doing shop work, and you're on your feet all day, I think sometimes it really does take you out. You're like, "Oh, mate, I don't have the energy to do so." It's different on a like, I feel like it's slightly different at a desk job where you, like, do your 9 to 5 or whatever, and it's kinda like, you're not really doing too much strenuous stuff, I feel.
I think the desk job is more like mentally exhausting, and not in a way like, "Oh, man,"
Mm,
because like, you know what I mean? I just because you're, like, probably, like, thinking more than you are actually, like, physically,
mm,
like,
yeah.
doing, like, physical labor.
Yeah. It depends on how busy your day is as well, because like the way my job works, is that some days you can just have a day behind a computer and just like, yeah, okay, just doing bits. And then the next day you'd be like, no, you gotta do this. There's like a lot of like, oh shit, you have to go to this place or
Yeah,
you have to go to this place. And it's like, okay, crap, I gotta like it's a mix of, oh, it is somewhat physical, like you gotta be on your feet a lot on that day,
yeah,
but it's also like my job is a lot like I'm not going to go too much into this what my job is, but it's a lot of waiting around sometimes with what I have to do. So
fair.
it's just like, yeah, it's just on your feet or you're waiting around or you have to wait for this person to be done on this thing. And it's like, yeah, it's one of those things like my job's a bit of a mix of it. But
I mean,
you're at
luckily
the end of the day, on those days, I would never be wanting to hang out afterwards.
yeah,
But if I had a desk day where I'm like, okay, all I've been doing is staring at the screen, that kind of thing, like, I can just like casual like stat work,
yeah.
basically, like analytical stuff. I probably would if someone said, "Hey, do you want to go for a drink afterwards?" I'd be like, you know what, yeah, I can manage that kind of thing. Like you just sat down talking and drinking, basically. I'll probably end up ducking a bit earlier, but I'd still like try and make if that was the case, I'd be wanting to hang out and
Yeah,
stuff.
see, luckily with my job now, it's,
Mhm.
it's all a desk job. It's
Mhm.
but now where I work, I'm, like, self-employed. Um, it's a 24-hour job, so there are times where I'm like, "Right, put in a day's work, pack it in," but the brain just never stops. So, like, for example, like this week where, like I said, I, like, grinded for 9 hours on the on New Year's Day. 9 hours, I packed it in, I was like, "Cool." Powered down the PC, went and sat on like, turned on the TV to just, like, have some videos on whilst I was, like, lounging around on my bed. But even so, I was like, "Oh, shit. Did I did I remember to make this? Did I remember to set that up? Did I
Mm.
do this?" I was like, "Oh, man."
Yeah, I think that's the thing with the whole self-employed thing is like you obviously, like you said, you're your own boss at that point, and that's means you have to be like, what targets am I hitting with this kind
Yeah.
of thing?
Needed
Am I
to
looking
be
to get this bit? Yeah,
super on it. Like, otherwise
yeah.
I'm so screwed.
When you're self-employed, like you are literally you only have yourself to blame with certain
Yeah.
things, I
Well,
guess. Like,
that's always the funniest part is,
yeah.
like, when I'm talking to, like, you or, like, some other friends or something, and, like, sometimes people forget I'm self-employed now. So then I'll join in the conversation, be like, "Yeah, my manager's a right fucking dick, isn't he? For God, bloody idiot, always forgets this." And they're like, "Yo, God, yeah, managers suck." And then they turn around and look at you. Like, they look at me and they're like, "Wait, don't you work for yourself? Aren't you your manager?" I'm like, "Yeah, exactly. He's a right muckins. Fucking hell. Can't get anything right." Or it'll be like, "Yeah, I sent off this thing. I'm just waiting for coworkers to come back or whatever." And
Yeah.
then people look at me like, "You don't have coworkers. It's
Mm.
just you." And I'm like,
It's just you,
"Yeah,
it's
I'm
just
waiting
you.
for me to sort out my shit. Fuck's sake."
Like, do you ever feel like overly stressed by what you do at all? Like,
It depends on
do
the
you?
situation. Sometimes I do. I feel like sometimes I get crushed under the weight of my own ambition. Because you know when you think, like, especially this year, I've like planned so many projects, but it feels like so many things are gonna be happening in a very short time span. So now
Mhm.
I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for all the work that I'm made for myself, and also try and balance it with, um, doing culture boy stuff, like
Mhm.
social things, hanging out with my family, like, and stepping away from it all. But when you've
Mhm.
also set like hard deadlines for yourself, it kind of sucks because it's like I'm literally experiencing that I don't have enough time in the day. And so, like, I'm finding myself jumping from project to project. I'll do a little bit here and a little bit there,
Yeah. Mhm.
and hopefully everything will come together in time. Or if not, I'm just gonna
Mhm.
have to deal with the fact that I need to learn to set more realistic goals. or realistic
Yeah,
timeframes for things.
it's just one of those things with time management as well. Like it's like dedicating a certain amount of hours to what you think is achievable within that as well. It's like it's a weird one because like with my job anyway, like I know that I have to meet daily deadlines
Yeah.
in certain things. So I know for a fact like if I don't get this done by this point, it's like fuck's sake, okay, I might end up like sometimes something that I think should be quite quick ends up being a bit longer.
Oh man, I hate that. I
And,
hate that.
so it just happens. It's one of those things that happens, like, like, you have no control over it. Sometimes, like, you estimate a project is smaller than it actually is, and it's like, "Okay, look, okay, there's a little bit more work that needs to go into it." It's not a problem, but it is inconvenient is what it is, and it's kinda like, the more it happens, the more you learn to adapt with it. That's what I find anyway, and I think especially when you're self-employed and you're relying on yourself with that kind of thing, I think, like you said, you work, as you said, 24 hours basically. You're
Pretty
always
much.
going to be on, like, you're thinking about it all the time. So I guess with that thing, it's easier because, like, I know you can't really switch off as much with that, but at least you know that you don't have to stop by a certain time. Whereas, like for some reason, a 9 to 5, where you have your set working hours,
Yeah.
like, the moment, like, I feel like I've gone over that, it's like, "Look, it's time to wrap up now," but I've also still got a bunch more stuff to do. It kinda I think in some ways it makes you feel not exactly down about what you do, but you feel like, "Crap, I didn't actually get this done in time for this." Like, does that mean I've done a bad job at it? Like, or is it because I'm a perfectionist and I'm focusing
Too much on
on
one aspect.
making this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think that's where it falls into time management and the
See, like
perfectionist
I
thoughts in
I
it,
see
yeah.
both sides. Whereas like I do actually try to stick to sort of a working day type of thing. So mainly because I don't want to experience burnout.
Yeah.
Because you grind away at something for too long, and if you're like like the 24-hour job thing is like I do need to have that hard separation where it's like, right, no more work.
Mhm. Yeah.
No more work. That's it. We're relaxing now, watching videos, playing video games for fun, etc., whatever, right? But at the same time, like where it is a 24-hour thing, I am painfully aware that also there are just times where I don't turn off and I don't set myself that like hard whatever and I'm like, "Oh, I'm not stopping now." And I will be working from when I start, let's say at like 1:30, 2 p.m. all the way until like 3 or 4 in the morning and I'm like, "Wow, I've been in front of my computer working on stuff for over 12 hours and I'm
Mhm.
about to do it again tomorrow and the day after and the day after."
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
sometimes I understand what you mean. Like if you don't get a bunch of stuff done within your daily target, but sometimes that I feel like that might be a bit better than like, oh, it just never ends. Like I'm
Mhm.
I'm just gonna be working for like 12 plus hours every day and still never
Yeah.
get everything done because you'll never get everything done.
I think it's tougher when you're actually running your own management kind of thing with that as well. Like, because like for example, like with your own self-employment, like doing that 12-hour days, like it's a weird kind of mindset, like because you're the only one on it.
Yeah,
It feels like you
I have
are
to.
like, look, okay, you have to do it because otherwise it's not going to be done by anyone else.
Yeah.
Like you said, you've been doing this for about a year now, is it?
Yeah, I quit my job last
Yeah.
year around early April, so like
I said less than the year,
less than a year,
basically,
but like it's
right?
getting close. Like I think it's like 9 months ish, 8 9 months. I will say though, despite everything, I cannot put an emphasis on how much my mental health has improved. And like maybe you can attest to this a little bit, Pepe. What with you being a friend that I talk to like a lot.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm a lot happier than I was before. Like when I was working my retail job, man, I hated life
Yeah.
and I was griping about work all the time. Like I'd never had a good thing to say. And yeah, okay, now I get a little stressed from like picking up too much, doing too much in too short of a time frame. But overall, I really cannot state like how much happier I am.
Mhm.
It was a stupid choice for sure, leaving a paying job for a non-paying job and one that hasn't even started paying out yet. But like, dude, I'm so much happier than I feel like, at least for me, like it's worked out because just stuff is aligned very well. Like we started Culture Boys, so like I ended up building a bunch of skills that are very applicable to what I'm doing now. And like, at least for me personally, I just think what I'm doing now was just the right time to do it. Like there was kind of like I've got nothing to lose. Well,
Yeah,
except
yeah,
financial stability. But I say things like, "Oh, I haven't had a paying job for almost a year," but I'm like, it's what things are working out. So don't worry.
okay, yeah.
Just I don't want people to worry and be like, "Oh, is he okay?" Like or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like things are actually working out. Like I won't tell you guys because it's too much information, too much personal information. But I do tell Pepe, I do tell friends and like family and stuff,
Mhm.
and things are actually working out. Pepe does know
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Like things have actually worked out quite well for me considering. And they're getting better. So
It's one of those things as well, like, like you said, it takes time with these sort of things, and it does, like, you have to build up this kinda stuff. And no, it doesn't success in any job, really, doesn't just
yeah,
happen overnight. No, like, and nothing Rome wasn't built in a day, as they used to say.
yeah.
So, it's
Everything's a process.
yeah. Yeah.
It's yeah. I don't know. I guess at the end of it all, I guess we're just trying to say, hang in there, folks. Your time's coming.
That sounds more like a threat.
No, not in that sense, but
Your
you know what I mean,
time's
like
coming. Yeah, yeah, I get you. I know what you mean. It's holding out that hope for something. Yeah, I get that. Right. Anyway, thank you for listening, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button for when another Culture Boys video comes out. Check us on all podcast platforms. Links are in the description. We are also on X, and that is also in the description. So check it all out there. And we'll catch you next time for another Cultured Boys episode. Bye bye.
bye.